Hey there, fellow adult collectors. Welcome back. David Eon here with another showcase video for your consideration. This one by request. Several people requested to see this series, and this comes from our tour video. If you've been watching, you know that we did a couple of museum tours just recently, and we split it in half. We did LPH's half of the museum, and then we did mine. And I had thrown the gauntlet down and said, hey, if you see anything in here, because we have a lot of obscure action figures and toys that some people have never seen. So if you see anything that you would like to see more of, we do showcase videos, and I can add it to a showcase video if you're interested. And this one was requested a few times because apparently a lot of people were unaware that there was such a thing as Sesame Street action figures. And that's what we're looking at right now. These are Sesame Street action figures. 5 points of articulation, mixed media. That's real clothing, and they are jointed. I think Cookie Monster might be 4 points of articulation there. I don't think his neck turns. But primarily 5 points of articulation with real removable clothing, made by Knickerbocker in 1981. And this is the entire set. They only made these 4 figures and never got back to it. Never made any other figures. And these are truly rare. I know that's a word that gets kicked around a lot. It's a very abused word in collecting, is the term rare. These truly are rare. And keep in mind that rare doesn't necessarily mean valuable. They're not worth a fortune, but it is extremely difficult to find them. I challenge you, go ahead and go to eBay and look up Knickerbocker Sesame Street, and 99% of what comes up is going to be stuffed animals. And maybe you'll find one of these. Probably loose and naked. I've seen them a couple of times loose without any of their clothing. Every once in a while one pops up in the box. And when it does, I wouldn't expect to pay a fortune for it. Maybe somewhere between $50 to $70 for one of these in the box. And this particular set is all from one collector, purchased all at once at the same place. You see the price tag there. If you can see that clearly, it says Phillips. $6.99 was the price. And a couple of these have a red line through it, like that one right there. So they must have ended up on clearance at some point. But $7 a piece in 1981 was a pretty penny for an action figure. And I would say if you wanted a scale on these, the scale is roughly 1/12. 1/12 scale, because they range in size from 5.5 to 7 inches respectively. And you turn these to the side. I'll let you look all around the box. And since these boxes are not sealed, I will take them out and let you get a close look at the figures here very carefully. And basically they just got a little kid on the side there holding the figure. Play with me, Cookie Monster, play with me, Ernie, so on and so forth. Turn and pose figure he considers stand, removable clothing, dress or undress him. Which obviously was done quite a bit, since, as I pointed out, often when you see these, they're nude. And collect all of the Play With Me Playmates from Knickerbocker! Big Bird, Bert, Cookie Monster, and Ernie. And this is a classic Knickerbocker style box. You see how it's a window box with this flap sticking out like this. It's the same style of box that they used with other action figure lines that were produced by Knickerbocker in the late 70s and early 80s. If you remember Snoopy and Belle action figures, those were made by Knickerbocker in a similar box. Annie the movie, Knickerbocker made a set of action figures. They made 5 action figures in a box about this size, this shape, and they made a vehicle and a playset. No vehicle or playset with these, unfortunately, but I really like these. And I really like the colors and the presentation even, regardless of the fact that the presentation is a little bit plain. It's basically just a photograph of the character sitting and standing. So nothing too spectacular as far as box art is concerned. But there's something about that classic color combination. The original 70s and early 80s Sesame Street, pre-death of Jim Henson, pre-Elmo era, when Sesame Street was still good. And that color combination kind of brings me back to it, which is why I really like these, I think. I'm a fan of vintage original Sesame Street and vintage original Sesame Street products. And back in the 70s and 80s, they didn't make very much in comparison to today. They really didn't. One thing you might have noticed is with this Big Bird. And you look at the Big Bird and you see he has kind of a tablecloth checkerboard pattern on his kerchief. But then when you look at the drawing, he's got like polka dots and circles. And I've never seen a Big Bird without the checkerboard pattern on the kerchief. So the prototype, for some reason, had a different color than what they eventually ended up going with. So why don't we stop for a moment and I will carefully open these flaps, because like I said, they're not sealed in there. And I'll stand them up and let you take a good look at what these figures look like out of the box. And we are back with our vintage Sesame Street Knickerbocker action figures out of the package, lined up in order of height. And as you can see, they are super clean and bright and just really amazing looking. And again, I'm a fan of the classic Sesame Street. I have fond memories of it growing up. Again, in my opinion, you may feel differently about it, but when Jim Henson was gone and when Elmo was introduced, it went in an entirely different direction, and it's, for me, gone downhill since. But the classic Sesame Street still holds a place in my heart, and this is part of that. Even the colors just jump out and mean something to me. But in order of their heights, taking a close look here, just to give you an idea, see, Big Bird's about 7 inches tall, Bert's about 6.5, 6 inches, just under 6 inches for Cookie Monster, just under it, right at his eyes. And then Ernie's about 5.5 inches. 5 points of articulation for Bert and Ernie, and 4 points for Cookie Monster. And for Big Bird, he's jointed at the neck and at the arms, but I count this as 1 point because his feet are actually connected right at the bottom. I don't know why they did that, but yeah, Big Bird can sit in his nest just like that. And he's got his little vest, it says Big Bird, just in case he forgets who he is. You know, Big Bird wasn't very bright. But that's just awesome. Bert here, again, 5 points of articulation, real basic movements. See how bright and clean that shirt is? It's almost Technicolor. That's incredible. No belly button. No, he does have a belly button. Belly button right there. He does have a navel. The rest of him is not anatomically correct, though, by the way. Cookie Monster, who apparently loves cookies. Jointed at the arms and legs. Very rudimentary movement. And like I said, these heights put them in at around 1/12 scale. So if you wanted to give Ernie a machine gun and have him run around with your Mezco Deadpool, you could totally do that. So just for sakes. Oh yeah, there's very, very faint navel. I had seen an Ernie nude before, and one of these, and did not see a navel, and that's why I said that. But this one does have the slightest bit of a dimple right there. They did give him a navel. It's interesting. These have never been undressed, and I don't intend to undress them because I don't want to put any stress on their clothing, which is very soft goods. It really looks a lot like the clothing on the show. The clothing, except for the gigantic Velcro closure here, which I guess I could reset that because it doesn't look like it was done very well in the first place. But except for the big Velcro strip, the clothing's better quality than a lot of the mixed media that you see on figures now. And I really like this. That just jumps out. The coloring is fantastic. But like I said, you know, we had done the museum tours and I had put it out there, hey guys, you know, if you see anything that you're curious about, let me know. And I can certainly showcase it for you. And so there you go. That is what the Knickerbocker Sesame Street action figure set looks like. Maybe you can find them on eBay. It's going to take a while to put a set together, but it's not impossible, and there's only 4 of them. And then you too can have a set like this. If you've never seen this before and you find this interesting, I hope it inspires you. There's a lot out there. There's a lot of stuff out there that people have never seen. It's easy to get caught up with so much new stuff coming out all the time, you know. It's easy to forget or not even realize how much has already been done. How much is out there. So again, I hope this inspired somebody. What do you think of this set? Is this something you'd be interested in? Do you have fond memories of Sesame Street growing up? How do you feel about Sesame Street now? Do you think I'm off with my description, or do you agree that it's changed so much? I think it's changed so much I don't even recognize it. But that's, again, you know, that's my opinion. You may feel differently. Let me know what you think of these in the comment section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up. Easiest way to show your appreciation for the videos. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you're new. All that kind of stuff. Check out some of the other videos for more showcases, for vintage commercials, for weekly roundups, for toy industry discussions, and so much more. And what more can I say? But thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.